Bark at your dog.
Woof!
They are the polarizing dogs, feared by some, beloved by others. They're pit bulls. Why is this such an emotional, polarizing discussion?
It is the hot button issue. Our story hasn't aired yet, Heather. It's airing tonight. We've got more than 1,000 comments on our Facebook page. Already. Just, you mentioned pit bulls and ban in the same sentence, and watch out, get ready. Because it is this polarizing pet. To some, it's a menace to society. To others, it's deeply misunderstood. No bad breeds, only bad owners. That's the dividing line in this debate. Here's what we do know. 32 countries, this dog is banned or its ownership is severely restricted. And yet, in places like Canada, we've got this patchwork quilt. Banned in Ontario, not banned in neighboring Manitoba. Banned in a city like Montreal, not banned in a city like Vancouver. How does that make sense for public policy? Either this dog is a danger or the danger is being completely overblown. And that's what we're looking into tonight on the program.
And you know, there's organization on both sides. I mean, there's actually something that we're learning, that a pro-pit bull lobby.
And when I started investigating this, I thought this couldn't be. These are multi-million-dollar animal rights groups. They've got lawyers, they've got lobbyists, they've got marketers, they've got celebrities on their side. The dog whisperer, Jennifer Aniston to Betty White, posing with this dog, saying that this is the perfect family-friendly dog. But it's more than a marketing effort. It's also a political effort. Right now in the United States, this lobby has convinced 21 states to ban bans. So if you're a community in one of those 21 states, it's illegal to bring in a pit bull ban, breed-specific legislation. So it's a political force. But it all comes back to this issue: is this really a family-friendly dog? We talk to people. We talk to dog owners themselves. We interviewed a woman who had a terrible story to relate to us. She adopted 2 pit bull-type puppies. She raised them. She treated them like family. She was also a babysitter. She was looking after a 14-month-old child one day when her dogs turned from pets to predators.
Their family.
Robert Hout says his 2 pit bulls are not vicious.
It's not the breed, it's the owners how you raise your animal. And no, they're not vicious. I didn't train them that way.
But Stockton police say these dogs went on a vicious attack Friday. Police say the dogs bit a man, killed a cat, then attacked another man, sending him to the hospital.
I can't get his face out of my mind at all.
Attacked and mauled by a pit bull.
I thought I was dying at that time.
Jeanette Cunningham says the dog that disfigured her face should be destroyed.
But today the dog's owner fought Burien City Hall to get her pit bull back home.
The pit bull's owner tried telling the city's hearing examiner today that her pet she got as a puppy is lovable, not dangerous. But you can't convince Cunningham of that. She sees a different image every single time she looks in the mirror.
It's a dangerous dog, and it's going to end up killing somebody.
After deeming the dog dangerous, Animal Control returned him to his owner and ordered him out of Burien for violating city code. The pit bull's owner appealed, calling Kiko playful and harmless.
Yeah, I understand what she's going through. I mean, I would totally feel the same way. But I mean, he is also my dog. I mean, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to hate him for it.
The owner sent Kiko to live with friends in Eastern Washington. Cunningham says distance isn't protection.
It's a terrifying moment. A man has to scale a fence to escape the bites from an out-of-control pit bull.
A family dog that made headlines for being held under suspicion it was part pit bull has mauled a boy just days after it was released.
A family dog that made headlines for being held by Animal Services over suspicion it was part pit bull has bitten a 13-year-old boy.
We're hearing tonight from the owner of a dog who bit a boy just days after it was released from Animal Services. The dog had been seized under suspicion of being part pit bull.
Pit bulls are allowed in some parts of Montreal, but this comes as the city is considering new rules around dangerous dogs. Police were called last night to a terrifying scene, one Fareed Benzanati won't soon forget. He says he was just home from work when he saw a large dog playing with something in his neighbor's yard. He moved in closer. That's when I saw hair, he says. It was hard to see, but I knew it was a woman's body. Police say the dog was a pit bull belonging to another neighbor. They believe it got in through a hole in the fence.
Well, are they lovable pets or a dangerous breed? The debate over pit bulls continues tonight.
Of course, this follows last night's horrific attack on a woman that nearly cost her foot.
A sad story out of Wilmer tonight. A 6-year-old boy is fighting for his life in a Birmingham hospital after he was mauled by a pit bull. It's the second dog attack on a child in 2 weeks.
Police say a pit bull viciously attacked a 10-year-old in his East Charlotte neighborhood.
We do have to talk about a violent dog attack. It left a family distraught this week when 2 pit bulls mauled a 3-year-old boy and his mother.
A 3-year-old little girl, a toddler, mauled to death by the family pet. Tonight, we hear that neighbors claim they've been afraid of the family dog, a pit bull.
Details tonight after a 6-year-old girl is mauled by 2 dogs. Police releasing dash cam video right here showing the brutal attack and the steps that they took to end it.
3 minutes from the initial call, officers were on scene ready to help. Once the 2 dogs ran off, officers fired several shots, killing both pit bulls.
Now being safely held behind bars, this 1-year-old pit bull named Junior is responsible for a brutal attack on a young boy. 6-year-old Andrew Bolger was playing outside of this house when the dog lunged for his neck.
It is a heartbreaker. A baby just 8 days old killed when a dog attacked. Police say it happened at this home in Kinley.
Around 5 o'clock in the a.m., police say a pit bull attacked an infant inside, killing the baby.
A pit bull attacked its owner, then got free from its home.
Yeah, 2 pit bulls on the loose in that incident, causing police to put an entire neighborhood on notice.
He says the dog used to come over to their house and play with their kids in a friendly, harmless way. He doesn't know what changed, Russ. He doesn't know what provoked this attack. But this afternoon, the little girl is still in the hospital. She'll have stitches in her head and a scar that goes all the way from her hairline down to her temple. This dog, named Milo, attacked a 9-year-old girl. The official report says the pit bull burrowed under a fence from the yard next door to where the victim was playing.
Good evening, I'm Carly Barnett. Police are investigating a dog attack after it killed one of its owners and seriously injured the other.
This dog is described as a family member. It's 5 years old, raised as a puppy, and tonight it may have attacked the one person who loved it most.
My pit bull attacked my wife for no reason.
Family and friends told Weeks to get rid of the dog. Now he wishes he'd listened.
And anybody that got any pit bull to get rid of them, because I never thought it would attack my wife.
That is something that a West Wego man thought he'd never have to say until Wednesday. That's when 3 of his pit bulls brutally attacked his wife inside of their home, severely injuring the woman and forcing police to shoot the dog.
She responds to you now when you talk to her. She can't see you, but she'll shake her head. Yes or no.
Clarence Allen talking about his wife, Linda Henry, who suffered severe injuries Wednesday when police say 3 of the family's 4 adult pit bulls attacked her inside the couple's Avenue A home.
We treated these dogs like children. They never had a fight. They ate out the same bowls. I don't know what happened.
Tonight, police in Pennsylvania say a pit bull that was adopted from Baltimore mauled a woman and 2 of her children.
Animal control officers take a pit bull into their custody after police say it attacked its owner inside this home on George Street in Dayton.
It's my fault. I shouldn't have been yelling at her. We was fighting over the kid and dog just went crazy.
Keisha Stroud is the victim's sister. She was home when the attack happened along with their mother and the victim's 3-year-old daughter. Stroud says she was arguing with her sister when the dog suddenly attacked her.
Police described the scene as a nightmare. A 16-month-old girl was mauled to death by the family's pit bulls.
Well, they describe it as being their worst nightmare. The family of a little boy mauled by a dog is talking about the tragedy that took their son's life.
Just awful. 4-year-old Benjamin Cobb was killed by a pit bull his family had agreed to watch.
Well, police are still trying to figure out what led up to this pit bull suddenly attacking 4-year-old Benjamin. According to the family, they were watching the dog for a family friend, and the dog was not known to have any signs of aggression prior to this.
Dayton police arrived at the 2200 block of Riverside Drive. That's where witnesses say a little infant boy died. Officials say the infant's grandmother says she was watching him at her home when the pit bull attacked. They also say the pet was a loving animal and has never done anything like this.
A family dog taken away by animal control for mauling a newborn baby.
A pit bull terrier Great Dane mix mauled a family's 3-day-old infant. San Diego police told 10 News the parents were in bed with their baby and dog watching TV. At some point, the mom coughed and startled the dog. The first thing the dog made eye contact with, their infant.
After surviving an attack by 2 of the family's 3 pit bulls. The mother told me it was heartbreaking that it was the family's pets her daughter played with daily.
We are still trying to get to the bottom of what could have possibly happened when a woman was mauled by her own pit bulls at an animal hospital. Via Fain was visiting her dogs, and in the backyard, they attacked.
Urban 911, what's your message?
Yes, we need an ambulance over here. A dog attacked her owner.
Via Fain died.
2 people are recovering after an attack inside their car while driving down the road.
The woman and her son were traveling with 2 small dogs and their pit bull inside this truck.
Ran up there to them.
But June Lisby couldn't figure out what all the commotion was about.
And what did you see when you got up to the vehicle?
A lot of steamed up windows, couldn't tell what was going on.
Just then, the woman's son was able to get out. That's when June realized the 2 were being attacked by their own pit bull inside their white pickup truck while driving down the road.
I knocked on the window and got the dog come after me, and then the young lady got out.
And her whole shirt was just like covered in blood. Her arm was just like, you couldn't even see the bone. The bone was gone. It was completely gone.
Gut-wrenching to listen to. About 7 minutes worth of calls to 911 and rescue. Calls coming from 2 sons who are literally helpless. You hear it in their voices. Kept back by what sounds like 2 vicious dogs hovering over their mother. Now, it started with a call from the woman's 21-year-old son who found his mother lying in the yard covered with blood. At this point in the tape, he has no idea that the dogs were the ones who did it.
1-840 an emergency?
I need an ambulance. My mom's all tons. She got blood everywhere. She's laying on the ground.
Where? Where are you? How did she get hurt?
I don't know. I just got out of the shower and I went out there to see if she got a trash can, and she was just laid out there. I don't know what happened.
Now, that 21-year-old has no clue that his mother is very likely dying steps from her home. It isn't really until he tries to get closer to her that he realizes what has done this to her.
How long ago till you saw her? Where's she bleeding from?
Let me drop back and check on her. I know she's got a cut on her eye, and her shirt's all bloody, so I don't know if she's still...
Okay, how old is she?
40-something.
Is she breathing?
Breathes on.
Is she breathing?
It's like you're away from her. You got a pulse. Where is it? I don't feel breathing. Don't get away.
Are you there?
I think she got disconnected.
Was she yelling at the dogs?
Yeah. We're on the way.
Now, just so upsetting. You know, it sounds like that 21-year-old tried to reach for his mother, as you heard him say. Tina Marie Canterbury, desperately in need of medical attention. But, you know, as her son tried to get close to her, you heard all that sound. Those were the dogs barking at him. And we're told that the dogs actually turned on him, biting his throat. Now you're going to hear his brother call 911.
Where's your animals at?
They're in the backyard. They're over my mom. They won't let us get near.
Okay, so they're by your mom and you guys can't get to your mother?
Yes. My brother tried to go out there and check her pulse, I think, and they attacked him too.
Call animal control and tell them we need on 246 that pit bulls won't let us get to a victim.
Now, something else about that call. The son obviously wanted help immediately for his mother.
Something that caused them to become hyper excited. Then, you know, they're being held back possibly. Then they turn and they just lash out at anything around them, anything that moves.
Pit bulls are notorious for vicious, unprovoked attacks. This video shows a guy being mauled by 2 pit bulls on a street in the Bronx, New York.
New at 11, the family dog turns on its owners. Even a knife and a taser couldn't stop him.
The dog named Scarface wouldn't let go. Guerrero's husband, Ismael, tried pulling him off. No luck. Responding officers couldn't stop the dog either. They used beanbag rounds from a shotgun and a taser. But it took a tranquilizer dart from animal control to finally subdue the dog.
A grandmother has been mauled. Her face is scarred, as you saw, and her mangled arms are wrapped in bandages.
And her attackers weren't strangers. They were the dogs that live in her own home. Battered, bruised, and hospitalized. A woman talks about the pit bull attack she survived.
I had a dog who had a pit bull wrapped around my neck.
Police in Virginia say a woman was mauled to death by her 2 pit bulls while taking them for a walk.
Our other top story at this hour, 2 pit bulls attack and kill a small dog and then turn and attack that dog's owner.
A toddler from Delhi is killed in another vicious pit bull attack, the second in less than a month.
When Frankie was 5, he was mauled by a relative's pit bull. It's taken 1,000 stitches and 25 surgeries to put him back together.
This is a photo of Pun the pit bull and 2-year-old Edward. But things took a very scary turn for the worse today at the family's Anita Road home in Johnston when the pit bull attacked the child.
It changed her life forever. Those words coming from a widow whose arm was torn from her body in a vicious dog attack.
When I looked up, he was coming across my daddy's plant right there, and the rest is history.
That history, her neighbor's pit bull escaped from their backyard and mauled 72-year-old Doris Mixon Smith as she worked in her front yard flower bed. The dog still latched onto her arm. She tried to get to her front door. Smith's arm was severed, and she had deep bite marks on her face.
A 9-year-old girl was attacked by a dog while she was playing in Northwest Charlotte. Tonight, she's still in the hospital with a number of bad injuries.
Harmony is just 9 years old, but she loves to participate in step shows and ride her bike. Mary Simpson is her grandmother, and yesterday she says a pit bull nearly took the little girl's life.
Rattled neighbors Wednesday night in Dorchester after an 11-year-old boy was viciously mauled there around noon by a pit bull in his own backyard on Rock Terrace.
Very much more horrendous attacks, an infant killed in Dayton, and a Claremont County girl bit.
Witnesses link pit bulls or dogs that looked like them to both attacks.
A neighborhood in Lowell shaken tonight. A 7-year-old boy is dead after police say he was viciously attacked by 2 pit bulls on Clare Street.
A toddler is in a Lexington hospital tonight recovering from a pit bull attack that seriously injured his face.
No one expected this. Leo Markarian on the ground with these 2 dogs on top of him.
He just still had the guy around the neck. That I've only seen a National Geographic Explorer, a lion to a gazelle or something. I mean, right there, suffocation, the jugular or whatever.
A horrific attack. A man pinned to the ground by 3 pit bulls, tearing at his body like a rag doll. The animals chewing his arms, legs, and neck.
This is quite a different case from Friday's pit bull attack of an elderly woman.
Yeah, no, hey, 2 recent pit bull attacks here in the Valley are sparking debate about when it's appropriate to euthanize an animal involved in a violent incident. Yesterday, we told you about 77-year-old Nancy Newberry, who was killed by her family's pit bull while she tried to give him a pill during feeding time. Then last month, a 4-year-old was attacked and now faces months of reconstructive surgery.
Well, 2 pit bulls are being held tonight after a ferocious attack in Lincoln Heights. That put a man in the hospital.
Right now, 3 children are recovering after a pit bull attack in Lantana.
The owner of a pit bull is cited after police say his dog charged into a Northeast Ohio home, attacked a small dog, and bit that dog's owner.
Swollen, bruised, and stitched up, 6-year-old Alexis is now recovering after a pit bull attacked her in her apartment building in Waterbury. They were in the elevator heading down from their 4th-floor apartment when it stopped on the 3rd. When the doors opened, it was chaos.
6-year-old girl is in critical condition after a dog attack in Westwood.
Serious the injuries are to that young girl. We're told she's stable here at Children's Hospital, but is in critical condition. Now, police say she was attacked outside her Westwood home by her neighbor's 2 pit bulls. We have video of a 3rd pit bull that was not part of the attack, but it was seized by authorities.
We were sprinting down the street. We saw everybody around that gate over there and screaming, and there's 2 dogs just dragging this kid around. He was already he was already gone.
Neighbors, helpless, looked on in horror as they watched two pit bulls attack the young boy.
Just watching it happen, nothing anyone could do.
Sean and his buddy were playing outside Saturday afternoon when he says a neighbor's pit bull came running around the corner and attacked them. The dog lunged at his friend first, nearly ripping off both ears and biting him all over his body.
8-year-old Soliana has 13 stitches in her face after being attacked by a dog in her own yard. Ashley says a dark black or brown pit bull bit her daughter in the front yard of their Gorham Street home Tuesday night.
14-month-old Daxton Borchert, the son friends say his mom and dad had waited so long for, died after being attacked by pit bulls at the home of a babysitter Wednesday.
The little girl, 16-month-old Kaveh Lewis, was dropped off at this Westmoreland Street home yesterday morning to stay with her 20-year-old uncle who was babysitting for the day. And around 10:30 yesterday morning, a female acquaintance showed up at the front door and the two got into an argument in the front porch area of the home and began to fight. Now, neighbors called police about the altercation, but little did they know what was happening inside the home at the same time was really much worse.
While they were outside the home engaged in this altercation, the little girl was left inside the house with the two family pets. It's believed that the dogs reacted and turned their aggression to this beautiful 16-month-old little girl.
Now, the two dogs, both pit bulls, have been removed from the home by Summit County Animal Control.
She just started her career as a model, but all that changed for 22-year-old Brooklyn Corey when her cousin's pit bull attacked her, ripping off her upper lip.
Just hours ago, a man who raced to save a woman and her dog from a vicious pit bull attack spoke to 10 News about what he had to do to pry the dog from the victim. The woman is now home from the hospital after part of her nose was bitten off.
Two pit bulls maul a 6-year-old Westwood girl, and tonight she is clinging to life. They have witnessed multiple pit bull attacks in the last year, but since then, they claim not much has been done to stop the dogs from possibly attacking again.
Kevin was attacked by a pit bull while at his babysitter's house. He spent weeks in the hospital, needed a feeding tube to eat, couldn't even open his right eye.
I had blood all over my shirt. I had blood all over me. He was all bloody.
A Fort Pierce woman living in fear tonight after she says she had to use a shotgun to save her small dog from being killed by two pit bulls.
Tonight's big story, how did it happen? We are trying to learn more about the tragic death of a toddler mauled by two pit bulls.
Family is thanking the doctors who saved the life of a 5-month-old baby mauled by a pit bull.
A blind man and his service dog attacked by 3 pit bulls.
A toddler is home recovering tonight. He needed more than 200 stitches after a pit bull attack on Tuesday.
The dogs involved in today's attack off leash on their Dorchester street recently. One of them mauled an 11-year-old boy.
A neighbor described those two pit bulls as aggressive and says she's not surprised to hear about the attack, but the victim's family says they're at least grateful an off-duty Boston police officer was nearby and heard their child screaming out for help.
Taken to the ground by 3 pit bulls, a 9-year-old boy relives the horrific ordeal.
This is a picture of one of the 3 pit bulls who took Joey down. He covered his face and throat from their gnashing teeth in the fetal position, praying the dog's owner would save him.
Just thinking, am I gonna die or not?
The young sister is in critical but stable condition here at Cincinnati Children's Hospital tonight. Make no mistake about it. Her injuries are very, very serious to her neck and face. They're the result of an attack by 2 pit bulls.
A little boy is dead and a little girl injured after they were reportedly attacked by pit bulls on their way to the school bus stop.
In Bridgeport today after a local woman says that her 7-year-old nephew was attacked by a pit bull 2 weeks after a similar attack at the same location.
Just days after the 2 14-year-old girls were seriously hurt outside this Brown Deer home where one of them lives, Police Chief Michael Cass is releasing squad video showing 2 pit bulls attacking the girls.
And breaking now, a child dies after a pit bull attack.
The victim was a 9-year-old boy. Police confirm the boy was visiting a friend. A pit bull at the friend's house lunges at the boy, mauls him. He later dies at the hospital.
I saw these 2 girls getting fight, and I was by them, and then the pit bull tripped me, and then it bit me where I always scratch myself.
A Chula Vista man watches in horror as 2 loose pit bulls run into his home and after his cat.
His beloved cat would not survive.
New details in a brutal dog attack in the upstate.
Police released dash cam video and a 911 call of a vicious attack that nearly killed a Spartanburg woman.
She saw ripping this woman apart.
When police pulled up,
she is just yelling and screaming.
Security video at 3:13 Wednesday morning. That's when you first see what Animal Care and Control has identified as 3 purebred pit bulls on the sidewalk in front of Greater Motorsports in West Palm Beach. You watch them notice something, and they stop. That something was a homeless man sleeping in front of the store. A different angle, entirely unprovoked, the dog's attack.
Well, a 3-year-old boy is recovering tonight after a vicious attack by a pit bull.
Thursday evening here in this driveway on North Cole Avenue in Spring Valley, where children normally play free, but would always watch out for Max, the pit bull. Pix 11 has learned for months Max has been on the loose, chasing children. You see the dog right there, not once, but in at least 2 surveillance videos, going after people.
The pit bull was very easily able to go ahead and jump over that little, piece of lattice.
Tony says a neighbor's pit bull mix scaled a section of this fence and attacked his 12-year-old pet.
Evil pit bull after the brute viciously mauls a 4-year-old little boy nearly to death.
The attack happened at this house on this estate near Caerphilly. The boy, who's now been named as Jack Liss, had gone to his friends to play after school. Neighbours say they first realised something was terribly wrong when they heard a commotion outside. Despite a rapid response, the police say the 10-year-old boy could not be saved. The dog was destroyed by marksmen. People living around here have told me they used to see the dog in the street, and they've described it as a scary-looking animal that resembled a pit bull.
A simple walk to the school bus stop lands 11-year-old Quashawn Abram in the hospital after a pit bull attack.
A dog was killed and a Fort Pierce teenager was bitten trying to protect that dog from a vicious pit bull.
She didn't want to go on camera, but tells Fox 8 while walking her dog on a warm November day, her neighbor's pit bull came running towards her, bit down on her dog, and took a chunk out of Mary's finger as she tried to pull the dog off hers.
Caught on camera, a little girl attacked by a pit bull. That 4-year-old is recovering tonight, and we talked to the little girl's mother and the man who owns the dog.
We are learning new information about a dog attack in New Jersey that killed a 3-year-old boy. Police now confirm that the dogs were pit bulls and have been put down.
We're going to begin with that dog attack in the Bronx. And Lisa Woodson was watching her 2 young grandchildren at the Eastchester Gardens apartments when that large pit bull suddenly lunged at her.
Tonight, a most disturbing incident on Long Island. A father out walking with his daughter when he was attacked by a dog, a pit bull.
New at 6, a Liberty Hill family wants their next-door neighbor's dog removed after it attacked and killed their pet.
Courtney Gold was actually in the backyard with her 11-month-old baby girl. She says her neighbor's dog came feet from her baby. Gold took the pictures after his neighbor's dog broke through this fence and attacked his 9-pound Dachshund, Roxy.
We'd only been outside probably 2 or 3 minutes, and the next door neighbor's pit bull just poked its little head under the fence, went straight for my dog.
Now the Golds want that pit bull gone. To be clear, they have nothing against the breed.
I'm not anti-pit, I'm not anti-aggressive dog or whatever.
A 6-year-old girl struggles to regain a normal life after she was savagely attacked by a pit bull this summer.
In mourning tonight after a little 7-year-old boy was mauled to death by 2 pit bulls over the weekend.
Again with a Fox 5 News alert, a horrifying dog attack leaves 1 child dead and another critically injured. Police tell us 3 pit bulls attacked 3 children as they walked to the bus stop.
A devastated father says he won't be silent anymore after another pit bull attack.
Only Western News cameras were there to talk to that child after a pit bull bit his face.
An East County woman tells 10 News that she thought she was going to lose her beloved horse when a pit bull came charging at them. She and the horse suffered serious injuries in the gruesome attack.
A Foley woman is hospitalized tonight in the trauma unit of USA Medical Center after her pit bull attacked her in her home.
A babysitter may not face charges after a 14-month-old child was attacked by 2 pit bulls yesterday.
And now when we go somewhere, she don't want to get out. She won't look in the mirror.
Victoria's grandfather's pit bull attacked her a few months ago, leaving her face covered in scars and Victoria needing months of treatment.
A young Chicago boy from Chatham is alive tonight in part because of a quick-thinking neighbor.
It was a 70-pound pit bull that police say came running out of this quiet South Side home and into a crowd of children.
Turning to a story all new at 11, one Carroll County woman is recovering at home and another is fighting for her life at an Indianapolis hospital after a vicious pit bull attack Thursday night.
In the bloody, horrifying aftermath, Animal Control this afternoon took a pregnant pit bull to the pound and loaded the dead body of another pit bull. It's in the garbage bag here, into their truck.
I heard her saying was get my baby, and the dog said grab the baby and pulled the baby underneath the fence.
And Detroit police showed up immediately, and they had to shoot 2 of the dogs to get them off of the boy.
You have an opportunity tomorrow night to do something that will help a little girl who was attacked by pit bulls.
A Chunchula girl is recovering after her family says she was attacked by a pit bull.
A Baltimore City girl is recovering at Johns Hopkins Hospital after she was attacked by a pit bull.
Cliché about the battle between dogs and postal workers became a frightening reality for a woman who was attacked by 2 pit bulls today.
We've learned a man had to stab to death a pit bull type dog to save his own dog's life. Thank you for joining us.
This dramatic surveillance footage is shocking. 2 pit bulls brutally mauling a 67-year-old grandmother.
Well, a violent pit bull attack. Tonight, the search is on for the dog and its owner, but this wasn't an attack on a human. KCRA3's Richard Sharp shows us the victim, a 900-pound horse.
6-year-old Zainabu Drame was 6 weeks ago when a pit bull attack in her Westwood neighborhood left her clinging to life, her tongue torn from her mouth. The 2 dogs belonged to a neighbor.
Erin Ingram has displayed nothing but poise and resilience since a neighbor's 2 pit bulls attacked her in front of her home in March 2010 and took her left arm and nearly destroyed her right arm.
And last night's storms may be to blame for a pit bull attack.
60-year-old Nellie Davis died when a pit bull in her apartment broke out of its cage in a frenzy in Mulder.
Austin police had to fight off a pack of pit bulls today. They were attacking 2 other dogs in their southeast Austin neighborhood.
And said that your wife and your dog have been attacked. So I ran out of the house. I couldn't find him at first. Then I got in my truck and I was on the scene. I saw my dog bloody all over the place and my wife standing there holding our animal.
During the attack, Hines says his beloved retriever was mangled by a pit bull mix.
They are known to be aggressive dogs. They are very excellent watchdogs, guard dogs, and they were bred for that, and they're popular. People have them, but they can be aggressive.
Well, tonight, a man in Lehigh Acres tells us 2 of his cats were violently killed by stray pit bulls.
Jaywan, this is truly a heartbreaking story. Just on the other side of this apartment complex off of Spruce Street is where Amber and her 2 daughters lived, and it's also where the attack took place. Neighbors tell me on Friday morning around 10 a.m., Amber was attacked by a gray pit bull.
We're following a developing story tonight out of a southwest Atlanta neighborhood where there's been a second vicious dog attack in just over a week.
Yeah, you'll remember last week Logan Bratz was killed and Sarai Sanders was seriously injured when dogs attacked them as they walked to their bus stop. Well, in this latest attack, a man was attacked by dogs.
And when we turn here,
Northwest Atlanta resident Gary Sims took our Fox 5 camera back down Chapel Road, where 48-year-old John Bullops was attacked by what Atlanta police believe are 2 pit bulls.
These 2 young pit bulls are being held at the Stockton Animal Shelter. They both began biting a man who was already being attacked by a full-grown pit bull.
When he arrived there and in company of the dog owner, the dog was friendly and they went into the house. Well, unfortunately, he went out by himself to go and get some cigarettes out of his car, and that's when he became under attack from the pit bull.
Tonight, an awful case of a dog mauling in Lantana. Good evening. I'm Tiffany Kenny.
I'm Todd McDermott. Thanks for joining us here at 5. A man was badly injured in a relentless attack by 2 pit bulls, even as 2 people tried to stop those dogs.
On First at 4, we showed you the horrifying video. School dismissal time yesterday at J.E. Clark Preparatory Academy on the
the city's east side, a DPS school. 3 dogs appear from a house situated near the school. They appear to be pit bulls and are savagely attacking anyone.
Died under this tree. He was attacked by 3 pit bulls as he left the high school where he worked as a groundsman.
Charges are not being filed against an Owatonna man who stabbed and killed his neighbor's pit bull. Chuck Hale told police that he took the drastic action after his neighbor's dog locked onto his golden retriever.
A man injured after being attacked by a pit bull.
We're here today to give you a status update of the patient who was attacked by the pit bulls last week. She's been to the operating room 3 times. Initially, she was treated in the trauma room here at the medical center and addressed from a immediate care standpoint, stabilized, bleeding stabilized, her wounds were dressed, and she was, I believe, intubated in the field. And from the trauma room, she was taken emergently to the operating room where she underwent a 4-hour procedure. This is the worst animal attack that I've seen.
Now we're going to show you some video which is graphic, but the good news is that both are going to be okay.
Thought I was gonna die.
John Brady describing this terrifying scene caught on cell phone video. The fisherman from Huntington Beach says he was walking back to his boat along the pier in Avalon, Catalina with his Jack Russell Terrier named Josh when 2 large pit bulls suddenly attacked his small dog.
Well, Jessica, the man says he was walking down the alley in his neighborhood when the neighbor's dog leaped out of the fence and lunged for his throat. But the dog's owner says there is no way their dog attacked without being provoked. He was walking down the alley near his house when his neighbor's 2-year-old pit bull leaped over the fence.
I have to say he tried to get my throat, but I wouldn't let him.
24 hours, 2 surgeries later, Cecil says his medical bills are more than $4,000. Bills he says the dog's owner should pay. We went by his neighbor's house. They would not go on camera, but showed us their new 6-foot fence and say there's no way their dog leaped over that fence and randomly attacked. Animal Welfare did seize the dog. Now, both parties here say they will go to court if they have to. In Oklahoma, you can be held liable for any damages or injuries your pets create. Reporting live tonight, Katie Blakey, KOCO 5 News.
A son trying to understand how his mother and his dog were attacked by pit bulls now says his mother did everything possible to save their pet.
Killing this woman, and we're trying to get them off of them.
Neighbors frantic as they watched a horrific scene unfold on their street.
Eating the hell out of her. They had her like lambs. They're all over her.
Yeah, there's blood all over the place, and these dogs have tasted it, and they ain't listening to shit.
They just ripping her apart. The skin, pulling the skin from everywhere.
Butch Alford grabbed a stick and a bat and ran back to try to help. That's when one of the dogs turned on him.
I had to wrestle the big one down the big pit of all of them. Wrestled and held it down.
He ended up with bites on his leg, arm, and back, but says if he hadn't intervened, he believes 54-year-old Terry Cosby would have died right there in the street.
Everybody's heart fell for this lady. She lost her arm, possibly a leg.
Police finally arrived and shot 3 of the animals.
All I think was just pow, 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 pow. It was like Vietnam. And even they shot them, they still was trying to kill them. They were just enraged.
A Milwaukee woman attacked by 2 pit bulls, speaking out for the first time tonight.
I've had a total of 6 surgeries since Wednesday.
With 727 stitches all over her body, several drainage insertions, and a broken toe, 36-year-old Sharice Charleston talks to me from her hospital bed at Freighted.
My mental, that's going to take a long time for me to heal that.
Around 11:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, Charleston says she stopped near 28th and Melvina to drop off some items to a friend. She pulled into an alley and saw 2 pit bulls attacking a 75-year-old man and a 26-year-old man. Charleston says the 26-year-old was the dog owner, the same person she was coming to meet.
We are learning tonight that Klonda Ritchie's vicious mauling death was preceded by more than a dozen complaints to animal control. Alexandra Lewis joins us live to explain why no action was ever taken against the dog's owners. Alex.
In less than 2 years, the Animal Resource Center received
13 complaints about the dogs that killed Clonda Ritchie. Ritchie was calling, asking for help, and the animal resource officials, they say they responded to that call for help to the best of their ability.
You can't change a law, so we can just go write a ticket because someone doesn't like this particular dog or that particular neighbor. We have to see something that's a criminal violation.
Dayton police are investigating Ritchie's death, and although the dog's owners did spend the weekend in jail, they're now at home. No formal charges have been pressed.
Stanislaus County Sheriff's officials have identified the man killed in the attack as 59-year-old Juan Fernandez, and the woman critically injured is his 77-year-old mother, Maria.
The aggression and the viciousness, because, you know, even though you got aggressive dogs, man, you can put them in the backyard, but you got to chain them up.
This man, who identified himself as Jerome, is furious after he says his landlord was attacked by 4 pit bulls inside this guest house he rents in the backyard of the main home on Glen Avenue.
And neighbors on the west side take extreme measures to save a 4-year-old girl from a pit bull attack.
This is 6-year-old Dolly.
She's a great dog. Really sweet.
Dustin Bishop says he came home Wednesday to find his beloved pet dead in his backyard near Southwest 59th and Walker.
So I went looking around to see where those other dogs had gotten in, and that's when I found the hole in the fence.
A hole he says his neighbor's 2 pit bulls created.
Door opens up and there's this same little girl standing right in front of me with a pit bull on her right and a pit bull on her left. I'm just kind of thinking to myself, oh, this is not good.
And it wasn't.
All of a sudden he lunges at me.
It didn't take long before each dog had one of Ed Klein's arms.
All right, Dan. Well, residents of a South Oklahoma City neighborhood say they're still scared after a group of dogs attacked an 8-year-old girl back in September. They say 2 people living in a nearby home owned up to 14 dogs at one time, and many of them were allowed to roam free throughout the neighborhood, often attacking other people.
Clayton County man describes how he fought off 2 pit bulls that attacked him and his dog.
Authorities tonight are investigating a vicious dog attack in the East Bay, and a man and a woman are now hospitalized after the attack in East Oakland this morning. ABC 7 News anchor Eric Thomas is live at the police department with the latest on the story. Eric?
And Dan, those 2 people you talked about, the man and woman, had to have surgeries after suffering terrible bite wounds to their heads and face. The dog that the woman owned, well, it was too late to save that dog. We did hear this afternoon from the daughter of the woman who was badly mauled, and this is what she told us. Princess Kennedy had the shock of her life today when she saw her mom, 54-year-old Nicole Kennedy, at the hospital after she had been mauled by 2 pit bulls.
Now and can no longer speak, but a 6-year-old girl who was mauled by a pit bull is recovering slowly but surely.
It got his face, completely ripped his right side of his face off.
We're blurring these photos of the aftermath because they're too gruesome to show. Tamara Doon-Keene also asking I not name her 15-year-old son. Speaking with me tonight in hopes it helps animal welfare find the dog.
We need the dog surrendered. We need to prevent this from happening again. If this would have been a smaller child, they would have survived. If it would have gotten my son's throat, he wouldn't have survived.
It happened here Monday when he and 2 of his friends were walking to a nearby store.
It went after the girls first, and he distracted the dog and unfortunately took one for the team.
The girls running home for help before he was eventually rushed to OU Children's, where he underwent extensive reconstructive surgery.
It's been a nightmare, to say the least.
Yukon police tell me the dog was described to them as black and pit-like with a blue or green collar.
How could this happen?
Destiny McDowell reliving the moment she learned her son had been attacked. Tecumseh police say 4-year-old Axel Foster was at his grandparents' home when he was mauled by what authorities say was a pit bull.
What if he don't make it through and I don't get to see him before he goes?
Pretty brutal dog bites with children, but never a complete amputation.
Axel's mom telling us her little boy was taken to OU Medical Center to have his arm reattached.
This sheriff's department is investigating a deadly pit bull attack that killed an 8-month-old boy in Lemon Grove.
In other news now, a dog adopted from a Maryland shelter is now being put down after attacking a Pennsylvania family. Now it's only doing more now in Maryland to ignite the debate over inherently dangerous breeds and if really all dogs are dangerous.
Now, the 2 boys were attacked back last Monday. One was 10, one is 11, and they're brothers, and they were playing basketball outside their home when a neighbor's pit bull broke its leash and ran over and started attacking the boys. One of the boys ran for help, and their mother came out and started hitting the dog, and then it attacked her before running off. The dog was adopted from the Bark Shelter here in Baltimore. It's this kind of attack, that has prompted Maryland's highest court to determine that pit bulls are inherently dangerous. That happened last year. Now lawmakers are trying to come up with a less breed-specific law this year.
I don't know what happened to him. He just snapped.
There's 3, I guess, aggressive, nasty pits in this house. We're going in with kennels.
Standoff, dangerous suspect holding off Cleveland police and animal control officers. The suspect, a big, angry pit bull.
And then he grabbed my arm, pulled me off the couch, and was tearing my arm apart. My husband grabbed him because he was attacking me, and then he attacked my husband.
My focus is fixing the scar on my daughter's face.
3 times a day, Fanny Posada and her daughter Selena are changing bandages. Selena doesn't want us to see her stitches because she's self-conscious about them.
I feel it's ugly.
Begging for understanding on how to deal with that.
This is Bubba. He latched onto Selena's cheek when she leaned in for a hug last Wednesday night. Bubba's owner was holding him on a leash outside their home during the attack. Bubba has never bitten anyone, which will come into play for animal services.
The animal never showed aggression. So of course I had built a relationship with the animal in the last almost year, is why I trusted that the animal would not hurt me or my child.
We begin in Neptune City. A pit bull euthanized after a savage attack which left 5 people at an apartment complex injured.
After emergency surgery today, she was attacked by a pit bull. Police say Lan Cam Trin was walking down Lake Forest Way in Roswell when the dog got off the leash held by a 12-year-old girl.
Spokane right now, where police say a loose pit bull went on a raging attack and bit 5 people.
A pit bull attack has sent a police officer to the hospital.
During the attack, a second officer shot the dog, and the bullet went through the dog and hit the officer.
A blood-stained sidewalk is where police say an 80-year-old woman was attacked by a pit bull.
Is whether pit bulls should be banned or not. And this, of course, is not a new question at all. And concerns over the danger of this breed of dog have been widely shared, with some people calling for the ownership regulations in order to stop the incidents of attacks on human beings. Now, social media users have again brought this up, this particular discussion, and they've expressed shock at the number of cases where pit bulls have killed or mauled people, especially children. And just last week, a 3-year-old boy was killed by a pit bull terrier in Cape Town.
A beloved pet viciously killed right in front of its owner. His other dog severely bitten.
They were my kids.
Corky and Chloe were Mark Fabich's world, a world that he says changed when this neighbor dog, Moose, entered.
The dog just came out of nowhere and got my dog.
In an instant, Fabich says Corky was in the pit bull's mouth, and Fabich says he was punching Moose.
And then I went up and sprayed the pit bull in the eyes with the pepper spray, and he let go of that dog.
A 9-year-old Madison boy is recovering tonight after a brutal dog attack yesterday afternoon.
It was a very scary afternoon for residents in this West Side Madison neighborhood. Shortly before 2 Wednesday afternoon, a 2-year-old pit bull named Ace escaped from his home.
And ran after and attacked a 9-year-old boy and bit the boy in several places.
Palm Beach baby is recovering from surgery tonight after a pit bull attack.
What should have been a routine call for an animal control officer turned horribly violent when he was attacked by a pit bull.
The son literally pried the dog's mouth up off of her.
Katie Weeks is living every mother's nightmare. Late Monday night, her 5-year-old daughter Selena was attacked by a neighbor's pit bull.
It was a matter of seconds, and that little girl's face was completely disfigured.
Pit bull attacked a woman and another dog in Youngstown this afternoon.
A Denver dog owner says he was duped. He says his dog was bitten by a pit bull. He says that dog's owner offered to help and then took off.
2 women were hospitalized today after being attacked by their family dog in the Rosedale area. Sheriffs tell us one of the roommates began to have a seizure and the other was trying to help her. The dog apparently thought the two were fighting and began to attack them. The owner of the dog actually put it inside a room and closed the door so she could call for help. But her roommate woke up from the seizure and panicked and accidentally went into the room where a second attack occurred.
This County man is out of the hospital and recovering at home right now after he was attacked by his pit bull.
28-month-old twins on a wagon ride, a basketball goal for a 6-year-old, a neighborhood full of children, and now fear.
Just scary. I mean, how would you protect both of them at the same time, you know, with the dog?
This pit bull named Jetty is behind tall fences at Grapevine Animal Control. Saturday morning, he was loose, charging up High Timber Drive with no collar. He lunged at a garage door and then lunged at Channel 8 health reporter Janet St. James and her 14-year-old border collie, Emmy.
Patrick, the two pit bulls are under quarantine here in Milwaukee tonight at the Milwaukee Area Domestic Animal Control Commission. Investigators say one of the dogs attacked a 14-year-old girl last night.
The vicious attack by a dog lands a utility worker in the hospital.
The female worker was in the backyard of a Huber Heights home when that happened.
When her daughter let the pit bull out into the backyard, it sent that utility worker here to Miami Valley Hospital with deep cuts and gashes to her legs and lower body.
New at 5 o'clock, we are hearing from a woman who witnessed a pit bull attack in Mobile today. The pit bull attacked a woman walking her dog.
It's not unusual to find a dog on a train in New York City, but riders say a pit bull attacking a passenger is beyond crossing the line.
Onto this now tonight, a morning walk turns violent for this little dog. The confrontation that sent his owner straight to the hospital. Now, the dog and the owner were attacked on the street by a pit bull.
How many dogs do you have, Mr. Butner?
I have 2.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a pit bull.
If you have a big pit bull, sir, you make sure it doesn't get loose. Because instead of attacking the dog, it could have attacked one of the children that was playing in the front.
Never would attack any child. It's around children. I have 2 babies at the house.
You know how many times I read about that in the paper?
Not this time.
You want to know how many times I read about that in the paper?
I trained my dog.
How many times all these people have read about that and heard the same stupid remark? It's the first time it ever did it. Never did it. It's around my grandchildren. I let it babysit for my niece.
Richard.
What were your dogs doing out? What were your dogs doing out?
My daughter accidentally left the door.
That can't happen.
I understand.
That can't happen.
Her dog.
You have dangerous dogs.
No, ma'am, they're not.
Yes, they are. Read newspapers. Go on Google. Read about it. Do you read?
Yes, I do.
Read about it. If you choose to have 2 pit bulls, you are responsible for any damage that they do to other animals or to human beings when they get let out, on purpose or accidentally. Do we understand each other? Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand me? You choose to have dogs that can cause serious damage, that have killed children, that have maimed adults, that have killed adults. You choose to maintain those dogs as pets. That's your prerogative. You want to put yourself and your children in that position. This country allows you to do that. This country, however, does not allow you to visit your stupidity on others. Do I make myself clear? Clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all.
Pit bull that mauled an 11-year-old boy who was playing in his backyard on Wednesday has been euthanized.
That 23-year-old released from the hospital just a couple of hours ago. You could see the pain on his face, and you could obviously see the blood and the wounds all over his arm. He says he was just walking to the store when that dog attacked. We have to warn you, the video that you will see in this story is graphic.
Now just leaking blood and all that.
John Fogel had no time to think, no time to run.
It got me on the arm first. Then it got me on the leg. Then it got me on my other arm.
Around 12:45 this afternoon, Fogel was mauled by a pit bull in his Lakeland neighborhood.
Really good kid.
Amy Plyler had trouble comprehending the sudden death of her cousin Michaela Woodard, who one day earlier was loving life and playing in the snow.
So smart. And she was loved very much.
The 5-year-old was killed Wednesday and her grandmother Nancy Preston was injured after both were mauled by 2 pit bulls owned by neighbors.
A Long Island playdate turned deadly Sunday when a pit bull attacked and killed a 9-year-old girl.
A woman in northwest Spokane is recovering after literally a wrestling match with a pit bull.
Tonight, a Stockton dog owner says she watched her Yorkshire Terrier get mauled by a neighbor's pit bull in her own yard.
She was convicted of allowing her vicious pit bulls to attack and ultimately kill an elderly woman.
An Arvada dog owner sentenced to jail time after her pit bull kills another dog.
The officer tried to kick him, just to get him away from him, and he just kept biting him. It was a horrible thing to watch.
This Town of Clay woman watches from her front door as a deputy sheriff is forced to shoot and kill an aggressive pit bull.
She's a very special dog to me.
Sharif Porter has had her mini schnauzer Lily for 4 years.
She goes with me everywhere.
Earlier this week, Porter had the scare of her life.
I was terrified that dog was going to come after me to bite me.
Porter says the attack happened Wednesday evening. It was her usual walk with Lily in front of Presbyterian Hospital here when all of a sudden
I cried for sure.
A pit bull charged at them, taking a bite out of Lily's backside.
The way it is now, especially in the last, 2 months, it's just crazy here in Haverhill.
Dog owners in Haverhill, be forewarned. City officials are looking to implement a new vicious dog ordinance after 11-year-old Robert Stickney was mauled by a Mastiff pit bull Thursday.
3 children attacked by a pack of pit bulls, and the dog's owner may face charges.
A 6-year-old girl is fighting for her life tonight after police say she was brutally attacked by 2 pit bulls.
In the hospital recovering from a vicious, violent attack by 2 pit bulls in Lakeland.
The attack so brutal her internal organs were exposed.
What they describe as a pack of pit bulls came up and started attacking him and biting him. Now, deputies say an anonymous caller called 911 saying they heard someone screaming. When deputies showed up, the dogs were attacking this man and they tried to get them off of him.
On the Crime Watch tonight, Santa Cruz County Sheriff's deputies are continuing to look for the owner of 3 pit bulls that attacked an Aptos man and his dog over the weekend.
2 pit bulls go on attack, terrorizing people in the heart of downtown Stockton. They attacked 2 men. Tonight, one of them's in the hospital.
2 pit bulls shot, 1 killed by police after they attacked a smaller dog, and the woman taking care of it.
Monday couldn't have got off to a more controversial start in the town of Washington, where law enforcement began talk of a controversial ordinance involving pit bulls, one that requires bull owners living inside the city limits to comply with or risk losing their animals forever.
Tonight, an Omaha mother is looking for answers after her 9-year-old daughter is attacked by a neighbor's pit bull.
At 6, a violent dog attack. A pit bull escapes from a Providence backyard and runs through the neighborhood, biting 3 children along the way.
An unneutered pit bull attacked a 5-year-old boy and bit him in the leg.
A Kelowna family had a rude awakening Friday night when their son was bit by a pit bull while visiting a friend's home.
Story on Channel 13 Action News. A little boy watches as his grandfather is attacked by a vicious dog.
Lenita, this man is awaiting reconstructive surgery here at the hospital. We spoke on the phone earlier tonight. He says he will bounce back from this, but is going through a lot of pain. He says this pit bull ripped apart all of the tendons and ligaments in his right hand and also sunk its teeth into his stomach.
And he was like,
This 5-year-old says he's never seen a dog quite as vicious as this.
A pit bull escapes and attacks a group of children for the 2nd time in 4 days.
The victims described this as a dog mauling spree that started a couple of blocks away and ended up here on this playground and park with several people being bitten over and over again.
It was horrible, very horrible. I actually thought they weren't going to stop.
Alfredo Ramos and his 71-year-old mother, Rita Torres, are covered in bite wounds from their arms to their legs and feet. They say the neighbor's pit bull terrier mix were loose in the street and went after them on Tuesday.
Pit bull attacks his new owner in North Idaho just 24 hours after the man adopted the dog from Kootenai Humane Society. The man should be okay, but he lost nearly 2 pints of blood.
This morning, the little girl is recovering at a hospital as doctors treat the cuts on her face. We're told that the girl is expected to survive, but she may need extensive treatment on her face. The attack happened on Sunday in a Dundalk home. Baltimore County police say a pit bull attacked a girl just 20 months old.
Year-old Andrew Campbell's waking up in jail this morning. He's facing charges after his pit bull, according to police, attacked a 4-year-old in Dillon.
Right around 6:30 this morning, witnesses are saying that the pit bull got loose from a yard and attacked a small dog and its owner. Police still haven't said if the owner of that pit bull will be facing any charges.
From a cop in New Jersey who bravely rescued a 75-year-old woman and her dog from an attacking pit bull.
Family of a 5-year-old girl killed by a pit bull wants the owner held accountable. The Hinds County Sheriff's Office confirmed a pit bull that's in custody killed Anastasia Bingham, and they now know the owner is Dante Stevens.
I just screamed. That's all. I screamed.
Well, this Pacific Beach woman lived through a nightmare. She was helpless as a pit bull grabbed her small dog by its face. This Yorkie named Gunner later died.
Are pit bulls more dangerous than other dogs? It's a question many people feel very strongly about one way or the other.
I wish the man didn't have to go like that.
A visit turns deadly. Detectives confirm 43-year-old Earl Stevens Jr. died after a pit bull attacked.
Good evening, I'm Lloyd Sowers. Thanks for being with us tonight. A family visit turning deadly. Now a 4-year-old boy is dead. Deputies say 2 pit bulls are to blame for this.
Horrifying video shows a pit bull pounce on a 6-year-old boy and knock him to the ground.
Cheryl and Alan, that dog appeared to be about the same size and weight as that small child, who tonight has his quick-thinking cousin to thank for escaping uninjured. It was a terrifying encounter with an angry canine. The relentless attack on a family's front steps, seemingly unending.
Since she suffered several injuries and her own terrier was killed while out for a walk.
Fingers were crushed in the attack, scrapes, bruising.
Last month, she took her beloved West Highland White Terrier Casper for a walk in the evening. Police say she was just a block from home near the corner of Greeley and Washington Streets when she and Casper were attacked by a pit bull.
I picked Casper up and tried to shield him against a car because I saw him coming, tearing his leg. There's nothing I could do.
She says Casper weighed just 20 pounds.
Her dog of 11 years was killed right before her eyes.
There needs to be change. This has been a continuous problem in this village and nothing's being done.
Right now at 6, so today's TMJ 4 exclusive. 2 pit bulls viciously attack an elderly woman's dog and 3 people who tried to stop them.
Tonight, an Omaha toddler is recovering from devastating injuries. She was mauled by a pit bull this weekend.
The jury trial begins for the owner of the 2 dogs that mauled an 82-year-old woman to death.
At this hour, 2 Milton, Florida homeowners are behind bars and a deputy hospitalized after authorities say the homeowners commanded their pit bull to attack.
Heartland resident posted these pictures on Facebook showing a small dog named Buster with holes in his ears and cuts and bruises on his back and legs. She said he'd been attacked in front of her home Friday by 2 other dogs, pit bull mixes.
That is where we are going to start right there, developing this story now at 9 o'clock. 2 pit bulls attack a Tampa man, dragging away the family's pet poodle before also going after a police officer.
When the dogs broke out of the back, they knocked one of the slats off of the back fence. It kind of chased after her and pulled the dog out of her arms.
This screaming could be heard down the block, says Andrea Mitchell, who ran outside to see what was happening.
She tried to fight it. She told me that she was, poking the eyes, getting her hands in the mouth. She got her hands all bitten up. Her hands were pretty bloody.
But that didn't stop the dogs.
And the pit bull just kind of kept throwing the dog and kind of ripping it back and forth.
A police officer shoots and kills a pit bull that police say was attacking an officer at this home.
New at 6, an uptown woman and her dog are recovering after being brutally attacked by another dog Sunday morning.
And some disturbing video to show you tonight of a pit bull attack in a Hunsick, Cartierville. It happened outside an apartment building and it left a 29-year-old woman with injuries that have her unable to work for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
I mean, I really thought at that point that dog's dead.
Glenn Bulaka can't believe he captured this video.
I saw about 3 inches of blood across the neck.
On Saturday morning, he visited the Keller Regional Adoption Center, and just before its doors opened, Bulaka saw a pit bull mix attack a smaller dog.
A man driving down Ardmore couldn't believe what he was seeing, rolling up on a mail carrier being attacked by a dog. Beeping his horn, it's not working. The animal's jaw is locked on the mail carrier. A neighbor tries to pry him off. No good. Another neighbor, a woman, comes out with a broom, beats the animal. It does no good. The man behind the wheel of the car gets out, grabs a trash can. It doesn't work. Some of what happens here is too much and we can't show it. He then uses a wheel lock to beat on the animal. It's hard to watch. It doesn't work either. That poor mail carrier trapped on the ground by the animal. A neighbor grabs the animal by the leash and gets him off. The dog sits down in the middle of the road. Meanwhile, the driver of the car gets the mail carrier in his car for protection.
Thank you. No problem, man. Fighting a dog must have he got you. Let me call the ambulance.
The 2 take a moment to catch their breath before he calls 911. And then the animal starts after another neighbor.
Family and friends mourn the loss of their little boy tonight.
Killed by 2 pit bulls.
A man viciously attacked by a pit bull on Milwaukee's north side.
I love her and miss her terribly.
Tears today in court from a man whose wife was killed in a violent pit bull attack.
Police called to this home in Maryborough at 9 o'clock this morning were confronted with a tragic scene.
Upon arrival, they've located a deceased female.
The 3 pit bulls were in an enclosed yard. Police don't know what prompted them to attack.
The woman rushed to the hospital today after she was attacked and seriously hurt by a pit bull in the Bronx.
Woman stabs 2 pit bulls to death to avoid an attack. This case has a lot of people scratching their heads. A Texas City family loses its dog in a vicious attack in their own backyard, and now they're being sued for as much as $1 million by the owner of the 4 dogs they say killed their pet. The Baker family says their next-door neighbor's 4 dogs, 3 pit bulls and 1 pit bull mix, charged into their backyard.
The dogs broke these slats off, and this is the hole they come in.
And attacked their 10-year-old beagle, Bailey. After several minutes, Steve Baker says his dog gave up the fight.
And Bailey walked over here, laid up next to the house, and died.
Emerald White, the owner of the 4 dogs, tried to intervene. The Baker family says she came through the yard and managed to get one of her dogs out while screaming at Tiffany to call police. White's dogs were not hurt, but now she is suing the Baker family for damages of up to $1 million.
Began with the Cavalier Spaniel named Tanner, killed in a violent attack by a pair of pit bulls.
A woman and child were hospitalized Wednesday after being attacked by a pit bull in a neighborhood near Newport.
30 horrifying seconds will scar a Cronulla woman for life. Tonight we hear for the first time from Lynn Hills, who had one of her fingers ripped off when a pit bull attacked her and her dog.
It's not often that a 5-year-old turns into a hero, but that's exactly what Jeremiah Rivera did when he was mauled by a pit bull, attacked while shielding his younger brother and sister from that dog.
I need an ambulance to meet me at 180th, and a child got bit by mauled by some pit bulls.
A terrifying call coming into 911 Monday.